It's
enjoying
over
it.
my head too, and we are Dirt Church Radio, and this is the AidStation podcast. I don't even know what.
Was that a clean
I don't
start,
even
or are
know
we
what
still
number
talking
this
about
is.
below Riley?
23 you put on the
I think
notes.
it's 26. Anyway, it's the second one of 2025. I'm Matt Raymond,
I'm Ali Pottinger.
I'm Andrew McDowell. Hello.
and this is the chaotic iteration of the chaotic good of Dirt Church Radio. But how you doing, buddies? What are you up to?
Good. Yeah. Just hanging out at home.
Andrew?
Yeah, there's far too much going on, and I haven't been for a run today, so I'm grumpy.
How is your foot?
Oh, better. Yeah, I did 130 Ks last week, and it seemed to fix it. So there you go. There's some good advice.
Oh, look, I was the same after Christmas. I was cutting about in a moon boot for a while, and then the next week did 110K. And, I was like, okay, well, if we can do that, we're okay. And we weren't under a blanket for the rest of it. So
I remembered that years ago, I actually did have the same injury. It's funny how you forget sometimes when it just doesn't bother you for years and you actually forget about it. And then I remembered I actually had a, what's the one that you get when you got a baby? What's that scan?
An ultrasound.
Ultrasound, thank you. I had an
I was going to
ultrasound.
say like a pelvic
perennial
floor
tear?
issue.
What?
It's the one. Never mind. And I had that on my foot, and they looked at it and they found fluid in the joint of the arch of the bones that go over the arch, and so fluid gets in the joint there. And so once I realised that that's what it was from last time, it's probably the same thing again. And the guys are just harden up, just get through it, and it'll work its way out, and then it'll reform, and then it'll work its way out, and then it'll reform. So it'll go good, bad, good, bad, good, bad, and eventually be okay.
I believe that's what I have.
Okay, it's not very comfortable.
It's not very comfortable.
No,
It's really not very comfortable.
and it gets worse. You know how plantar starts off really bad, but generally sort of calms down.
Never had it.
This one goes the other way.
Plantar took forever for me.
Yeah, plantar takes forever.
Touch wood.
But that's
I
the
thought
one
someone
where
was there.
No, that was me.
Oh, you were
That was me
touching wood.
Touching wood,
Oh,
yeah.
it did sound like a doorknock.
Yeah.
I was actually knocking on a door.
That plantar, when you get up in the morning and that you put your foot on the ground and it's just agony. This one's the other way. It's pretty good, and then about 20K into a run, especially if it's pavement and stuff, it just starts to really bite, and it's kind of annoying because you sort of by then you're committed to your run, you're in the flow, and you might be a fair way from home, so you do have to just grin and bear it. But yeah, getting better. She'll be right.
She'll be right. Foot Church Radio. Right.
Sorry.
This week's question. No, it's been, I was saying to Ali off air that my foot and upcoming race is consuming my life at the moment. And it's consuming my life in just a low grade way because I've got other stuff going on. I have a job and a family and things and accoutrement and stuff and all that. And it's just there in the background all the time. I had a dream about Tararua the other night. I dreamt
Like a Martin Luther King dream?
No. Well, if only it was that hopeful. Hopefully mine will be realised. I dreamt Mel Backhausen was an ambulance driver, but he was kind of dressed up in that kind of old school St. John's. We had like a V-neck acrylic jumper on and the white thing, and yeah. Anyway,
Damn.
the question that we
dream.
have this week.
But the good news for you before you start your question is that once you start the race, you don't have to worry about anything else.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
I reckon it's one of the best things about really long races is you're there, you're in the moment. The rest of the world just doesn't exist. You're not thinking about tariffs on Canada. Everything is fine.
I'm never not thinking about tariffs on Canada. It does hold special meaning. Speaking of, it does hold special meaning at the moment, and the world is a fraught place. The question, and this is from you, Ali, so do you want to read it?
Oh, well, when we're talking about what we discussed tonight, I thought, well, why don't we just go for what our bucket list experience or race would be at the moment? Like if money wasn't an option, if time wasn't not an option, an issue,
money is not an option.
What would you do? Money's not an option. But where would you go? What would you do if, the winning lotto question, right? What would you do if you could do any run that you so desired?
Is this presuming you can just buy your way into it?
Yep.
As opposed to, obviously, like you've still got the issue of lotteries with a lot of races.
Yeah, no, let's pretend there's no lotteries.
Okay.
This hypothetical amazing world.
That sounds pretty good. Yeah, I want to go last. What do you got, Matt?
Oh, okay.
Well, I'll go first. So I got 3 actually. Well, I got tons. I thought about this in the context that lotteries still existed, because otherwise they'll be like, I'll do Western States, I'll do Hard Rock, I'll do UTMB, I'll do this.
You're such a cliche, Matt.
I know. It's almost as if I was. Don't throw stones in your little glass buckle.
That was
house. I would do, if money was no object, and if I had the time to do it and the process, I wouldn't do a running race. I would do a brevet. I would do the Paris-Brest-Paris, the 1,200 kilometre brevet, the long distance cycling race. It's been going since I think the 1890s. I think.
Wow.
And there's a 90-hour time period on this race.
So hang on a second.
Paris-Brest-Paris.
Yeah, which is that Hungary? No, where is it?
Brest is in France.
Yeah.
It's all in France.
Brest. Okay.
Brest.
Yeah.
I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, and for those French people listening,
I'm going to look
je suis
Yeah,
désolé.
I need to picture this. So where is it going? Like, what sort of terrain does it go through?
So it's road. It's like you ride through the French countryside and from France and from Paris out to Brest. You turn around and you come back.
Oh, it's 600 k's each way?
Yeah. It's 1,200 k.
So Brest is on the western coast of France, like about as west as you can get.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's this famous, it's a brevet, and you have to qualify for it. So you have to build up, and you do 200 kilometre races, and you got to do like 400 kilometre races, and then 600 kilometre races. It's like Tour de Waipunamu is doing, but that's more in the continental divide. This is on road. I would do that. That's what I would.
Cool.
That's what I would spend my time doing. And then I thought the other thing that I would do is I would go to New York City and I would run the Brooklyn Bridge Midnight Half Marathon.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know nothing about that either. Tell me more.
Take the bridge. It's more like it was underground. I imagine it's quite fashionable and popular now. People would meet at midnight and do a half marathon in Brooklyn.
Weekly or once a year, or?
I think it was once a year. And then maybe there's a series, but I would love to do that. That just, being a city kid at heart, that would be.
How did you hear about it?
Looking on the internet, like years and years ago, like through like all the Cieli things and stuff like that, like, and Instagram, I just stumbled upon it, and looking at that sort of more urban running clubs, and really, I love that sort of stuff. So yeah, I do that. And then I think what I would do, if the money was no object, is I would go to Chamonix and I would do the Tour de Mont Blanc. And I'd just hang out at races. I'd go to Western States and I'd hang out at Olympic Valley and I'd go to Silverton and I'd go to all these places and just hang out and run and just experience it and have a nice time. And that's me.
That really is a luxury, isn't it? Like, being able to go to these places. Even if you're running it, if money's no object, you go there a month, 2 months, 3 months beforehand and have all that time to just, you're not working because you're loaded, right? You've won a lotto. And so you just hang out in the mountains and train and just get used to it like the pros get to would be that in itself, just having that time to spend there would be pretty amazing. I think. Would I get bored? I don't know, maybe.
Well, this is the thing with money, though. I mean, they say money can't buy you happiness, but it can fund a team to investigate the problem. Like it does solve a lot of life's questions.
Well, that's pretty good, mate. I don't know about the cycling thing on a trail running thing, but I suppose this one time we'll allow it.
But this is the thing. We talked about, and I've been very open, like I was cycling before I was running. And you think about things that you would like to do in your life, like, that'd be pretty cool. Like,
I'm a sucker for the Tour de France still, mate. I'll have that on every day.
Yeah.
Well, it's in fact the only time I subscribe to Sky TV is during Tour de France, and then I cancel it straight afterwards.
What about you, Ali?
Well, It's not a cycling race.
It's a swimming.
I put a running one in there.
I'm sure Andrew will be happy. No, I'm a bit like you actually. Like my first thought was like, I'd love to go do the Tour Mont Blanc. Just kind of, because I think like I've kind of realised when I've been thinking about, what would I like to do? I love multi-day adventures, and I love the kind of the simpleness of camping or staying in a hut or something like that. So, and I mean, gosh, like I haven't stayed in a refuge or refugio yet, but I'm sure that from what I've heard, they're a little bit more glam than our dock huts. So I'd like to experience that. So yeah, I think that would be pretty fun. And another one that appeals to, like I've had some friends go this last European summer and go to the Dolomites or Dolomites. And so like kind of where Lavaredo is, like that area, and go and do some multi-days there. And that looks really awesome. I'd be super keen for that. Yeah, so that's kind of, yeah. And if I had to go at like more budget, then, you know, like that used to be what I'd do in the Tararua Ranges, is just go go there and plan some adventures that way. But yeah.
What about you, Andrew?
Well, I've got myself a map of the world in front of me here. So I just, I'll just go by each country. Shall I?
Yeah.
Obviously, I've done 2 of the races or events that I always wanted to do anyway. And they were number 1 and 2 on my list. So I'm kind of already in a relatively happy place regarding those sorts of, money was always an object, but still managed to pull it off. But to me, obviously money's important, but time is the big one, right? Like actually having that spare time to be able to do some of these races is generally the one of the big problems, away from kids and family and everything like that. I'd love to run the Spine race, the winter Spine.
Oh, cool.
That one really, really interests me, mainly because it's cold and I love cold races. I hate hot races, and all I seem to ever get lately is scaldingly hot races. So I'm really interested in that one day, along with the Bob Graham round. So a little bit of England there for you. Both of those will be really cool. And actually just even up in Scotland, some of those big, I can't remember the name of the rounds up there, but there's some really big missions you can go
Buckley?
on. Could be, yeah. Definitely some unfinished business in the UK. Well, unstarted business in the UK. UTMB, I'm happy. One and done. Don't need to go back to that one. It's all good. I don't like stage races. So I would not know, because
why?
There's so much downtime. I'd get so frustrated. Like a Marathon des Sables or something, like the idea of a 30K stage that you could probably run 4 or 5 hours, right?
Yeah.
That leaves 19 hours in the day to sit around a campfire singing Kumbaya, and I'm just not into it. I got too many things to do. I'd get frustrated with that sort of downtime. When I played in the band.
But what things would you be doing?
You'd have to talk to other human beings.
What I mean is, if I'm going to cover that distance, I'd rather just do it, like non-stop, get it done as fast as possible without all the downtime in between. That's absolutely my perspective on all races, and life as well. Like I remember when I was on tour with the band in Australia, they had 4 days in Cairns between gigs.
Oh,
right?
that's torture.
During the tour, yeah. So
torture.
I paid for flights home, and I went home immediately so I could get 2 days worth of work done and hang out with the family and that sort of carry, and then flew myself back for the next gig.
Andrew,
I do not do downtime. I'm not.
You can do a liveaboard.
A what?
A liveaboard. Gone diving on the Great Barrier Reef.
Yeah, I'm not much of a water guy, to be honest.
And the thing about doing something like Marathon des Sables, like the main thing, we talked to Hazel Harrison about it, I think, and she was saying like one of the main sort of dangers is like people like Vagn Armstrong and Mile Backhausen who have cut down their calories to the end, sort of sifting around the tent looking for food from you. You hear this like scuttling, and it'd be like Vagn Armstrong up on the tent peg, and you'd have to chase him out into the desert.
Not for me. Grand Raid de Reunion, that'd be a good one, because that's not a cheap one to go to.
I've heard that's great too. I remember some of the athletes that have come to Tararua who'd done it were just like, it's so amazing. It's such a great atmosphere.
Yeah, and Gran Canaria, of course, as well.
Yeah.
So either side of the African continent for those, that'd be super cool.
So Ramsey round is the Scottish round, and the Paddy Buckley is the Welsh one.
Ah, nice.
Oh.
Do them both. Let's do them all. Do them all.
Absolutely. If money was no object, I'd say what I'd do. If money was no object, I'd buy Jamil Curry a burrito every day for a year just to save him I don't know.
Hey, come on, that was fun.
Was it though?
That was
It
great.
started off fun.
No, it actually got more fun, I reckon. As the guys got more and more wasted, and you could see they were working real hard in those last few days. And then, of course, all the big dogs came to town. You know, Scott Jurek, the fellow with the beard. What's his name? Oh,
Rob Krah?
I'm
Anton
so bad
Krupicka.
with names. No, he won Tararua one year. Oh, my goodness.
Timothy Olsen.
He's got a nickname as well. Keto guy.
Oh,
Bronco Billy.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was going to say
Far
Bronco
out.
Billy.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
Jeff Browning.
It's been a long day.
Brownie.
I was running
Yeah.
out of my ultra runners with beards then, actually.
And it was just fun to see everybody sort of getting behind it and having a bit of a party over it. And I love the stupidity of it. I've got no issue with that at all, you know.
Can you explain this to me? Because I actually,
It's a 300
not all over
meter,
it.
it's a 300 or 0.3 of a mile, or it's around 300, 400 meters section of pavement in wherever they live, Phoenix.
Arizona.
Okay.
And if you collect the most, if you become the local legend, you don't need a crown. If you become the local legend of the segment, you win free Chipotle for a year. So, but that's 52 burritos. It's not like you can't go into this restaurant and go like, give me Mexican food every day for a year. It's one burrito a week for 52 weeks.
I heard it wasn't even a burrito. It was like a side or something.
A salad bowl, whatever.
Yeah,
It's
like, it
going to
wasn't
give you
even that
diarrhea.
good. But that's fine. It wasn't about that. Like that.
Well,
that's secondary.
So these guys started, and Jamil Curry got involved, and he infuriates me.
How dare you?
No, he does, because I love him, and he infuriates me how he can just seemingly go from not running at all to running like he's like when he raced against his boy, didn't race very far against his brother because his brother's an amazingly talented athlete, Nick Curry. They did hard rock, and he just kind of did hard rock, and then how much did he run in the month? It was like 800 miles or something. He just did 130 miles on this 300 to 400 meter segment of pavement.
2,100 segments.
Yeah.
Whatever that works
To
out.
win a year free Chipotle, which is like a Taco Bell variant, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, he's not doing it for that. He's not doing it for he can afford Chipotle if he wants. You know, he's doing it for the challenge. And I'm totally all about that. I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, so that was January in the States. I guess if you're gonna, you know, you might want to focus on
other things,
making your own fun.
Yeah.
He said it really helped motivate him to get back into training. So, you know, it's positive.
Have you seen his toe? Oof.
No, oh, yes, I did see that. That was gross. Yeah.
It was like Johan Bergman's toe. Did you see Johan Bergman's toe at the end of the Satellite Ultras?
No.
And his big toe. He goes, oh, you have you met Johan? He's so tough.
Yeah, mate. He just did a big stint in Antarctica, didn't he?
He goes, oh, I thought my shoe was feeling a bit tight, and his big toe nail was lifted. It was probably about that far off his toe. Oh, it was incredible. But
Yep, nice. So
what else is going on?
That's well, I've been enjoying watching Karel Saab. You know, it's a dangerous ground, right? This is dangerous to have a dig at Wellingtonians about running. You know, I know that could get me in trouble, but you know, Bradley Horton down there, mate. You were talking Karel Saab's chances down of getting over those Tararuas, mate.
Ranges.
You thought he was going to struggle in DNF, and he just flew over it like it was like a run on the beach, mate. Like, so clearly, look, maybe this is a hot take, but I reckon.
Oh no.
Okay, I know.
It's quite nice after 6 years. Someone else putting their foot in that. You go.
Yeah, okay.
Tell us.
So I think, and this is not from experience because I have never been in them. So
Not a destination that you're keen to do.
no, it is actually. I'm very keen to get down to the Tararuas. I think that if you get nice weather on the Tararuas, it's not that hard. If you get crappy weather, you might die. So your success or failure is so dependent on the weather that you shouldn't really be judged on anything else.
There's a bunch. Can you hear that noise? That's a bunch of dudes in Wellingtons breaking their lecky poles over their knees in disgust.
Yeah. Yep.
Andrew,
Stroking
my
their
take
bearded chins.
is that you're partly right, but it depends on the part because you get parts of the Tararua Ranges that are really well frequented, so you get proper trails, and then you get other areas that you're having to navigate yourself, and it's pretty rugged, remote, untrodden So it depends where you're going as to how easy it is.
Surely the main trail is a trail?
Yeah, the Tararua Trail should be pretty well trodden, I'd imagine.
And is that
but
the SK,
weather-wise,
that's
the thing that would scupper you.
Yeah, obviously weather, like if you get a bad day out there, no matter who you are,
you're buggered.
You're buggered.
Yeah.
And I think they take a lot of delight in hassling people who think they're all that in a bag of chips and they get a terrible weather day and they go, ha, you suck. Well, so anyway, I'm calling out all Wellingtonian trail runners here. Let's go. I'll give it a go. I'll choose a nice, beautiful day and then tell you all how easy it was.
Please do, Andrew. Please do.
I was born in Wellington, by the way, just a little disclaimer there.
Yeah. Aw, it's your hometown.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just calling myself out.
The prodigal son returns. You're actually not doing much for our Wellington on the charts. It's on the cities most frequented by Dirt Church Radio, Wellington is further down the list than you might think.
Maybe we need to do a Tararua segment each week.
Okay.
And a Wu2K one, although Wu2K is awesome.
Wu2K is awesome. It's such a good race. Okay, so now that we've declared war on Wellington,
Hey, I'm not at war.
I'm not at war either. I'm not at war either.
It's just me.
I'm catching, but it's going to be me.
I'm sick
who
of your
catches-
superiority, Wellington.
It's going to be me who catches the strays. Although it is quite refreshing to have someone who's also willing to cast off the shackles.
Yeah, send your emails to dirtchurchradio@gmail.com because I don't check that, so I don't care.
To be fair, neither do I. But
Goes to the spam.
yeah, absolutely. Look, and not like we have Star Wars at home moment, but what do you reckon the closest comparable experience is in scope? Like something that you'd like to do that you feel is achievable and that is maybe at home or something that you're really looking forward to?
Do you mean something comparable to our dream race?
Yeah.
The spine of the Southern Alps? Is that a thing? Can you do that?
Tararua Ranges.
Oh, no, too
Go
easy.
on, the SK.
The SK.
Actually,
Should
it
do a
probably
trip-
is. It probably
do a
is,
triple.
right? Because the SK gets
Yeah.
plenty of snow. And if you did that on a winter's day, you'd be
You would not do it on a
you would
Wednesday.
not do it on a winter's day.
No,
Okay, it's not that easy. All right.
it's not that easy.
Well, what's the main range? FKT, something like 18 hours. There's Sam McCutcheon and another gentleman, I can't remember his name, I do apologise. And it's 18 hours. That's
Very
Sam,
quick.
And that's Sam McCutcheon. Yeah, that gives you...
Don't
What
worry,
about
someone
you?
will email through with all the
Oh,
exact
yeah,
stats.
yeah, absolutely.
If they're listening, which they don't in Wellington. So actually, probably I'm fine. I can say what I like.
Okay, Ellie, what about you?
Well, I've done it before, cavalcade. So Terry Davis organises it for the Goldfields Trust, and it's a multi-day adventure through Central Otago. I think it's probably actually must be coming up, and it's pretty fun. Like you just kind of go have a jaunt around the mountains for a day, finish up, camp, have some food, do it again the next day. So you end up with a generally pretty verty week of Central Otago running, which is awesome.
So there's runners and is there cyclists on that one as well?
Yep, there is. So it could be mats
Horses?
as well.
Are there horses?
Yes, horses. There's big wagons, there's small wagons, there's
Gotcha.
yeah, it's really cool.
Far out.
So that's probably one that if people wanted to do that. Otherwise,
Can you put all your travelling gear in the wagon? Or do you have to carry everything?
I don't even know if they carry gear. I know they carry a lot of alcohol. That's the main priority.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know about
Classic
gear.
pioneer times.
Yeah.
Water's unsafe to drink. We'll bring brown liquor.
That's right. Yeah.
Wow.
What about you, Matt? What would be?
mine's-
Are you going to do tour to Waiponamu?
No, I'm not going to do that. That
No?
looks so difficult. I have to say, and it ties up nicely, but it's something that I'll circle back to the top. My bucket list race is coming up in 2 weeks. And it's interesting that it's a bucket list race because it's something that it's not understated on me, or it's not overstated on me. The fact that I'd never been in a financial position until now to do it. So that was something that, and actually to have the family spend. So it does feel really significant. And, and it's something that, like, and I've been very clear and open, I paid for it. I haven't got any special deals or treatment or anything,
Means you can eat all the lollies.
Yeah, exactly. I can eat all the pizza I want. I can be a dick to the AidStation volunteers because I paid for the right.
No, you cannot. You cannot do that.
Isn't it? Oh, shit. Okay.
No.
Right, I'm going to need a plan B then.
Are you bringing the whole whānau down?
So one of the three children is coming down. So kids are getting a bit older, Well, I've got an adult child, so 21, and then so he'll be working, and Lola's going to stay behind because she's got school and she's kind of locked in with that. So it'll be a smaller contingent, but it's going to be really cool. And of course, I won't be a dick to the AidStation volunteers. I'm renowned for my comportment at races.
I'll tell them to watch out for you.
Yeah, watch out for that dude,
especially later on.
When I'm non-verbal.
I think that's a really good reminder too. Like for me, because I've worked in events for a long time now, and it feels just, like second nature, but it's a really good reminder. Not like I know how invested people are emotionally and how much they've invested in their training, but it's a good reminder too financially, like that is actually, it is a big investment for people. And so, yeah, just another reminder for me to really do my best to honour that for people.
Yeah. It's interesting, isn't it, when we do, and that's the other side of the coin, like all three of us go to lots of races, and especially like last year, I felt like I was over in Australia every couple of weeks for a while there, and it was really choice, and you go to kind of like go to Kosciuszko and your way around, or you go to UTA and by this time, and like the back of your hand, but I'm familiar with the place now. I can drive through this space. I know where it is, all that sort of stuff. And it does feel kind of like it's fun. It's really fun to be here. It's a real privilege to be here. But just keeping in mind that this is someone's, if you wanted to think of a food analogy, this is them going to Noma. This is them saving up all their penny to do that one thing. And it's pretty cool. So
it is lucky that, it's worked out that we've got this big international race. Well, Ellie, for you, it's around the corner. And for us, it's, less than 3 hours drive now, thanks to a fancy motorway. It's not that far away, which is pretty awesome. We're very lucky that we can have something like that. And just speaking of the cost of 100 milers, we have a new one. This is a free plug for a new Northland 100 miler coming up
so good.
in July.
What?
And I have it on good authority that it's going to be very affordable, which is pretty exciting.
Who's putting it on?
His and hers.
His and hers events.
Okay.
Helen
and where is it going?
Helen and Chris.
Chris, thank you. Sorry, Chris. Helen and Chris.
So it's up around Whangarei. And I mean, it's one of the things that I know Sean Collins has talked about it for ages. It is the sleeping giant, really, of Aotearoa. There's not a lot of races up there. Obviously, there's not traditionally a population up there that engage in, Gucci, expensive endurance sport. And it's beautiful, beautiful, rugged country up there. And
there's
it's
some really good runners up there too.
Yes. Yeah.
Where is it going through? Like,
don't know.
Do you know the course? No.
I sort of know, but I'm not going to say yet because they haven't released any information.
But 100 mile in Northland is fantastic. So
yeah, I'm stoked. Yeah, count me in. I'll be there.
There's incredible scenery up there. Like we did a trip. When the asbestos was being removed from our house, and so we had to be out of our house for like 10 days, and we did heaps of running up there, and I was just like blown away by the just beautiful scenery, beautiful bush, like beautiful kind of elevated coastal trails. Like, yeah, it's a really neat area to go for a run.
Yeah, and it feels like there's no one up there. Like you go up sort of Teal Bay, which is Tararua, and around there, and Helen lives up around there, and you like I remember the first time I went running up there, and it was like there was no one. It was like quiet earth, there was me, and that was it. And it was, it's incredible. So
I'm excited about that. That's July sorted.
Yeah.
July.
Still trying to fill in the calendar this year, but, we'll see. We'll get there by the end of it all.
Right. Well, look, I'm super excited. I will see you two in a couple of weeks, in literally 2 weeks. And that's
so long as my next door neighbour sorts himself out and he actually starts the race,
We can talk about that offline.
So I'm just putting some pressure on him. You'll be right. Come on, mate. We've got to do this.
Remember, harsh Occam's razor, mate. Right. Look, I'm Matt Raymond.
I'm Ali Pottinger.
Andrew McDowell, and I'm from Wellington.
You're from Wellington,
like
and you offer yourself this tribute. They're going to beat you to death with a bunch of didgeridoos. Dirt Church Radio, AidStation podcast. Thanks very much to all who subscribe. We love it, and stay tuned for next week because we've got a real special show. We've got our Tararua preview coming up. So take care.